I was diagnosed in 2010 with breast cancer, and my children were only 7 and 4 at the time. So it was very scary and something I just never thought I would have to go through.
When a person gets a cancer diagnosis, it's like the life they had is suddenly dumped out. Everything changes when this happens.
When you hear the words, "you have cancer," I was only 40 at my diagnosis. Your life changes in that moment.
There's so much uncertainty that happens at a time like that. It's very hard to maintain, for any one person, to maintain that kind of balance that keeps your thought in a gentle place, keeps your emotions in a wonderful spot, keeps you connected to everything that is, and helps you identify still with a body that can heal instead of betray you.
So before I had a double mastectomy, before I started chemo, before I started radiation, I was able to start Healing Touch.
Healing Touch can influence what goes on in the treatment program. It is designed through a series of techniques that we all learn and use to restore the free flow of energy in a person's body so that people experience less heat buildup and less fatigue as they go through a long radiation regimen, or less lymphedema or less nausea when they are in a chemo regimen, and just less stress.
It's like people are a little bit afraid of cancer patients and cancer in general, and I could feel, just so much emotion welled up in me.
When I initially heard about Healing Touch, it was a little hard to understand or see how it was going to help anyone. I had people work on myself, though, and you could see the change in the energy and how you can feel better afterwards.
I felt this safety being there in the Healing Touch room. I felt like it was a place I could take off my mom hat, my work hat, my wife hat, and if I needed to just cry on that table for an hour and a half, I could do it.
It really does give them a safe place with a provider with listening ears who can get them calmer, get their heart rate to slow down, just get them into that relaxed space.
For me, the body, I could relax and maybe allow my body to heal in a way that I had never expected.
I was able to get still enough and quiet enough to tap into the emotions I was having around cancer.
When they get still, they start sensing other parts of their experience. And they allow themselves to become aware of what I think of as whispers instead of shouts.
You go through so many twists and turns along the cancer journey, and when you're given chemotherapy, it's so toxic. You're given radiation, it burns your skin. You're having a double mastectomy. Everything is so invasive.
The radiation probably adds some blocks to a patient's energy field, and the energy work helps bring flow and energy to the area of the skin where the radiation is happening. And definitely in the surgery setting, for sure I've seen benefit for people who get the energy work before and after surgery. Just a remarkable benefit in healing.
But you go into this sanctuary and suddenly things become more gentle. And it's the touch you're craving. And you don't even realize how much you need it until you're there in that space. And you can just let it all go. Even if it's just for an hour a week, it's enough to get recentered and refocused so you can start the next week with more hope.
I always think the person that gets on the table is not the same person that gets off the table.
It is an added dimension that's not present in anything else. And I think when you're faced with a cancer diagnosis and you think that ultimately you could die, I was willing to try anything, to stick around longer, to be here, to be a mother for my children, and a wife to my husband. And I knew when I first started healing touch that this was going to be a path that was going to be very beneficial to my healing.